What's up, working class Americans? It was an interesting day. We have now given up full control of our country to the same people who have been selling us out for the last 30 years. We have now went from at least a divided government to where you had multiple ideas and people with different views on the world, working hand in hand to try to make the country a better place. Even if they disagreed, there was more than one voice there, and they could talk it out, they could try to work it out. We have now removed that through our voting. I think that many people who voted for this change will regret this change very soon. I don't think it'll take long. Whenever they start realizing that the government runs off our money, and for all the free shit they have to give out now, they have to get that money from somewhere. So where will they take it? They will take it from the American taxpayer, the working class American citizen. So who's really going to pay the most here? Well, it's going to be your middle class, your poor. Your poor to middle class people are going to be the ones to pay. Now, all the special interest groups, lobbyist groups, things of that nature that line these corrupt career politicians' pocket with money, they're going to have more power and influence over this corrupt leaders than ever. Because now, these people have already told us what they're going to do. They've already told us. They're going to move away from the Constitution. The Constitution is basically garbage now. You have people who want to install a communist socialist regime. They want everybody dependent on the government. And they have already told us this. They have told us they will lock us back down. They will decide who gets business license, who gets loans, who does things like that. They will raise our taxes in the middle of a pandemic, which will finish destroying the middle class. The middle class is done. Between the taxes we're going to pay and the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic and we're just now recovering and starting to recover financially, we're done. The middle class, and I'm not even part of the middle class, I'm still on the poor level. But at the same time, I've been able to earn a good living and by my standards and take care of my family. But if someone's taking 50% of my income, I won't be able to do that. Not as easily. I'll have to give up a lot of things. So my standard of living will probably decrease greatly. But my standard of living is higher than a lot of people's. So theirs will probably decrease more than mine. Now, the people who standard of living will increase will be the people who are not producing or not doing anything for the country because they're sitting around getting high, breaking laws, and only worried about themselves. They're not worried about their fellow American or family. They don't support their own children. Why are they worried about you supporting yours? These people will benefit the most in the beginning. In the beginning, before the rest of us start saying, okay, we're not going to pay taxes. We're not going to go to work. You want a system that's going to fail? You want everybody dependent on the government? Okay. Well, government, where are you going to get your money? Because we're not going to give it to you. At some point, we have to take a stand. We cannot continue the same 30-year pattern where all the lobbyists, big interests, big tech, Silicon Valley, Wall Street, all the corrupt politicians line their pockets with money from all these interest groups, all these corrupt politicians that constantly stir the pot with the same old rhetoric, racism, hatred, all these things where most American citizens are not racist. We're not hateful. All we want to do is go to work, put in 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week if it takes it, earn a decent living, and take care of our families. That's all we want to do. We don't need them in our homes. We don't need them telling us how to live. We don't need them telling us how to worship. We don't need them trying to take away our right to be able to defend ourselves against them as they become more tyrannical. We don't need them treating us like we're children and telling us that we have to stay locked in our homes and just depend on them to take care of us. We don't need those things. What we need is a society the way it was when the country was founded, to where you have individual responsibility. If you don't work, you don't eat. Flat out. Unless you have, like special needs, a disability, something like that. Okay, that's different. But if you're just some lazy asshole who wants to sit around and play video games all day and has been living in mom's basement, you should not get a check. Oh, that happened to go to school for 4 years to study freaking music and can't make a living, so now we're on the hook to pay for that education as well. Here we go with socialized medicine, debt forgiveness for student loans. I didn't take out none of those student loans. Why should I have to pay for them? Social housing. The list goes on and on. The list of free shit that these people promised to get elected. And then on top of that, I still have no doubt in my mind that they were not truly elected. It's like going into a boxing match where you've got your fist and your opponent has brass knucks and don't follow the rules, but you do follow the rules. Tell me how that turns out for you. It's probably going to turn out for you the way this last year has turned out for the American working class. The American working class is about to pay the price for all the foolishness that we have allowed our government to get away with over the past 30 years when we knew better. We knew better. We could see what they were doing, but we were a little too comfortable in life. It's all about to slap us in the face. It's about to slap us back to reality, and I don't know how it'll turn out. I can tell you that right now, honestly, 110%, I do not know how it'll turn out. I feel like there's enough patriots across this country that's going to stand up and say, hell no, we're not going there. But I don't know. When it comes to making D.C. a state, Puerto Rico a state, allowing people just to enter the country freely just to get votes, making them citizens right away just to get votes. When it comes to doing things such as, telling you where, when, and how you can worship. When it comes to doing things such as taking away your Second Amendment so you can't fight them if they become tyrannical. Not to mention, China just gave them the ultimatum a few months back. You got to take the American people's weapons. They should not have those weapons, blah, blah, blah. It's a problem. Take care of it. China gave them the ultimatum. And as we know, China owns Joe Biden. China owns the top circle of our government. They've already said it. They've said it out loud. That's how confident these bureaucrats and hypocrites are that they have taken control of this country already. That's how confident they are saying these things out loud. Our country in 2020, this year will be looked back upon for as long as our nation survives, and this will be the turning point of the country. For those people who have went to work and worked hard and done the right things and planned for their future and tried to build something that they can pass on to the next generation, it's just done. It's gone. That dream is gone. The dream of your descendants being able to have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is gone. The dream of your descendants being able to decide what they can say, when they can say it, and where they can say it, how they can say it is gone. The dream of your descendants deciding who they want to worship, where, when, and how, is gone. At this point, all of these freedoms and rights are on the chopping block. The left The people that have been elected have told us what they were going to do. Yet we were foolish enough to elect them. Not because of anything they've ever accomplished. Most of them have never accomplished nothing in their life. They've never done anything but government. They're a bunch of lifelong, hypocritical liars. That's what they are. We had a businessman in the White House that was doing great things for this country. And of course, they pulled the same old BS on the race card, or else, he's a transphobe, homophobe, bigophobe, whatever phobe they could think of. They threw at him for 5.5 years, ever since he announced that he was going to try to run for president, and some established candidate that would not expose the corruption in D.C. might not be the president. They have went after him with everything they had, came up with zero evidence, zero, a big goose egg, no evidence that the man ever did anything corrupt. Yet you have Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of the usual suspects, the big media companies that censored American voices and would not allow Americans around the country to know Hunter Biden, James Biden, the Biden family, the Biden crime family, would not allow the country to know and would not allow the message to be spread of how corrupt this 47-year politician was. How many things he's done to this country that were nothing but bad. I mean, what has Joe Biden ever done for the working class people of this country? Nothing. Not a damn thing. He helped pass the Clinton crime bill. He helped sell us out to China. He's been on China's payroll for years. We have crossed into one of the scariest situations we could as a country, because right now we have set up one party rule, and they have told us their intentions. And their intentions are to take us down the same path Venezuela went down. Russia, Soviet Union, China, Korea, you name it. All these countries went down this path, and we see where they're at. The United States was the only thing that stood in the way of the globalists who have been trying to set up global control and global domination for the last 50 to 75 years. These people, Soros, he was part of Hitler's army, okay? He was literally a Nazi soldier, and he has made huge amounts of money, and he has used that money to try to finish what Hitler was trying to set up. A pure socialist trying to bring about one party, one rule, globalist control for the world. That's what Hitler was doing. People have lost their common sense. They've attacked our education system. They made our kids dumber than dirt. A lot of these people, young people are voting for shit they don't even understand. The only thing they understood was Orange Man bad. Systemic racism, just all the usual fake narratives that get thrown out there. I'm to the point where I'm just along for the ride at this point, but I can guarantee you one thing. I'm not going to comply. I'm not going to shut up and obey. I'm not going to do what they want me to. I am going to stand my ground as an American citizen. We send you there to represent us, not to control us. If you try to take away our freedoms and control us, we will give you a fight. We will not allow you to do that. We will fight back. Now, for all the establishment Republicans right now with their fake outrage and their, we just need to fall in line. Guess what, guys? For the last 30 years that y'all been leading us, y'all have done nothing but sit on your damn hands and let the other side smack you in the head with that damn steel chair. Smack you in the head with some brass knucks. You haven't done shit for the American people. You talk a good game, but when it comes down to action, you got no spine. You got no balls. You are yellow belly cowards. And the American people are tired of you. Today, over 1 million people descended on Washington. That is the tip of the spear. If you really look at it and you really think about it and you can actually comprehend every war that's ever been fought in this country was fought over freedom. You try to take our freedom and we might have other ideas. And kicking every one of you low-life swamp creatures out of our capital might just be that idea. Y'all have a good night. God bless.